Hello and welcome to Apropos, a conversation between Clojure programmers that you can join in live on YouTube. We're going to discuss a few Clojure news items and share our opinions on them. Then we'll jump into a REPL and code some exercises or do some demos. If you're joining us live, feel free to comment in the chat and we'll try to address the questions. On the panel today, we have Mike.
Hello.
Mia.
Hi.
Ray.
Hello.
And me, I'm that other guy.
I'm cross-branding today.
Oh, y'all should all check out his podcast, Deafin. It's a cool podcast. Great guests. And there are only vegetarian guests, I take it.
No, we're omnivorous. The guests are allowed to be omnivorous. Okay. Allowed to be. That can be.
You serve food at this podcast? Why don't we get food?
Okay. Next week, we'll bring some food. Okay.
All right.
You normally do get food, in fairness, Mia.
No, I haven't for months.
What?
So we have some great topics this time. But first, we have a little announcement to make. We want to make some improvements this year, and one of the improvements we're making, and we've already started, is that we've put a gist in the show description, in the YouTube description, a link to it. And so this gist will bring you to a page with all the show notes in it. And so right now it just shows you like what we plan on talking about and what we plan on doing at the REPL. And we will add more stuff as we talk about it. Please feel free to leave comments below if you've got some links to things that we didn't talk about, or you have questions about the stuff, comments, anything like that. Also, if you've got solutions to our REPL thing that you want to share. And so this is going to stay live forever, as long as the internet stays up. So, YouTube will have this link in there forever. Everyone who's watching this in the future, hello, future people, that just should still be there. So,
didn't someone buy GitHub recently?
So yeah, we got Google and Microsoft linking up through our show notes. Yes.
That's permanent.
So yeah, just wanted to make that announcement. There are show notes. Open them up now. We'll probably be sharing links in there because, as you've seen in the past, whenever we try to share a link in the chat, it does not go through. So we'll be putting links in there throughout the show. Okay, so first topic on the agenda is the Clojure 1.10 release. Yay! Woo!
All right.
So these releases, I'll just start it off. Like, to me, they come as a kind of a surprise. Like, we know at some point that release candidates start getting released, and that's kind of like the first hint that, oh, something's ready to go out. But then we don't know how long it's going to take for those release candidates to turn into. Didn't
this one go to alpha and then back to beta? Or
yeah, it did have a little like, oh, there was some bigger change than we thought. Yeah, well, it goes alpha and then release candidate 1, 2, 3,
alpha,
4,
beta,
5.
Release candidate.
They have a beta too. I probably missed that.
Yeah, 2 betas or 3 betas, I think.
Wow. So they're on their own schedule. I think they release things when they're ready. And they're not they're not on some kind of like 6-month cycle or something like that. And so sometimes the first thing we hear about is that the alpha is out, and we don't know what's going to be in it. So we have to read the changelog, and then they don't really put a blog post together until the actual release, which is cool because they don't know if things are going to change or whatnot.
It is fruitless to try to predict, huh? You could try to place bets.
But I don't know about the futures market, the Clojure futures market. I don't know if it's worth betting on.
But it did surprise me as well. All of a sudden, the release was out, and you're like, wow.
The big thing that people are excited about is error messages. Or am I wrong?
I think people are more relieved than excited, I would say.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, it's kind of like it's like I think error messages are a bit like performance. You know, you don't really care about them until they hurt you. You know.
Interesting though, error messages are like in the top 1 or 2 complaints that people have about Clojure in the survey.
Well, I think they got a lot worse with 1.9. It's one of these things where they were really unhelpful. I mean, it was kind of unhelpful before 1.9. They were kind of not, you know, what the hell is this? Seek is not a fucking function crap. But, you know, okay, fine. You know, I kind of get it eventually. But 1.9, then they pile all these spec things in. So you're getting, you know, a mile-long error for every single thing you do wrong.
Right.
It becomes, you know, it was pretty useless before, then it got really useless. And now it's kind of sane at last, you know?
Yeah, I like how they went back to apply their own principles back to the error messages. That's how I see it. And I mean, it's basically just moving stuff around, right? It's like, oh, instead of concatenating the string with like compiler error or whatever they used to be, they have come up with a formal rational model of like all the different phases, and it reports what phase the error is in, which should help you figure out where the problem is.
Well, I think the thing that Stu said here, and I think the thing that they've applied generally, is the fact that the error messages are now actually data rather than just strings.
Right.
That seems to be the big win as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Exactly. And with still the same philosophy of, if you really want better error messages, you can just plug right in. But now that they're data, you can do that much better.
Yeah, it's actually possible to do that. The thing that I've heard the most chatter about, and not like just what, like the chatter I'm hearing, is Datafy. I feel like lots of chatter about Datafy. Not a lot of people actually using it that I've heard. I don't know, are any of you guys actually using it for anything?
Not yet.
Not yet. It's the next on the list for Reptile. You know, it's, once we get the basics all working up, then I want to start pushing on some of those things. But that's another thing which is kind of like, all the exciting stuff is still in alpha, isn't it? I think Datafy and Nav and all those things, the Prepl, they're all still in alpha. But I find that a bit weird, by the way, because I don't know how they do that. How do they say, well, certain functions are, you know, the language is 1.10, those functions are included, but those functions are alpha. It seems a bit weird, you know, because I don't know how that works actually.
I know what it means, because I know what it means.
But with spec, they make a separate jar file, and you can actually have a build of Clojure which comes as spec or which is separated. But these other things are actually in the main Clojure thing, which is marked as released. But those things are marked as alpha, and that seems a bit weird to me. That's all.
Well, I'm glad that they are out there. I think that's one of the things, is they weren't out there until the alpha came out. And, you know, one thing that I've been a little bit burned with in the past is thinking, oh, this thing is alpha, and I don't really want to have to rewrite any code, so it's probably not ready yet, so I'm not going to learn it. I'm not going to use it in my system. And then it goes out of alpha, and so I start using it, and I realize, oh, there's a problem with this, right? I should report it, but it's kind of too late, right? That alpha, they're serious about alpha, meaning it's okay to change it now, but don't change it after. And so I would recommend people actually at least give it a try. You know, spend an hour, boot up a REPL, see what it does, see if it makes sense to you while it's still in alpha, because otherwise you're going to miss your chance.
There's a cool feature that stuff that's underneath the datafy and nav, which is that ability to do protocols through metadata.
Yeah.
Which is kind of mind blowing, right? I guess you can summarize that by saying at runtime you can make anything that can support meta.
Do you use metadata much?
Do I?
Yeah.
No, not in like day-to-day programming. No, like.
Yeah, neither do I. I find it a little bit hard to reason about because just things like if you have a map, or let's say you have a set, you have two sets. One of them has metadata and the other one doesn't. And you do a set union. So it's going to be, you know, you don't know which one is going to come out.
That's my big fear too, is basically this fear that things may not preserve your meta. Right. And then you'll be like trying to track down which function did that to your thing.
Exactly.
You need some meta on your meta at that point.
You can do that actually. That's kind of weird. And you can go up infinitely.
You can put metadata on the metadata map.
That's metadata.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Of course you can. Dude, that's the list we're talking about. Yeah.
So Mia, what was the you said there's a lot of chatter that you hear about. I mean, what's the kind of thing that you're hearing on the street as our sort of street reporter for Clojure?
No, it's just like everyone, it's mostly a punchline right now because no one's actually using it for anything. So when someone has a complaint, someone else will say, "Oh, use datafy."
Oh, right. Yeah, right.
But I think it's become the new transducer. Yeah, it's the new transducer as the go-to hand wavy solution, which is why I'm curious to see what kind of actual use cases there are for it.
So the main use case is for the browser REPL, right? That's it. The REPL, yeah. So if it's only useful for that, that might be all that they're really hoping for.
I thought the idea was that it was more broad than that it would be a kind of way to link data in general. So not just for the browser interactivity that they support, but in general, any kind of way to navigate through data and to filter stuff. It seemed to me like it was a kind of, and again, maybe this is why it's a bit hand wavy, Mia, is it's a bit like GraphQL for generic, sort of generic GraphQL for all of your data. Because you can filter on it, can't you? That's the idea, that you can say, okay, well, I'm going to provide certain bits of metadata that allow you to only access these fields of a particular object, and then that links to another one, links to another one, links to another one. Right. So you can essentially set up a graph of the data that you want to look at, and I guess you can like essentially offer different views into that graph depending on your needs.
Right. So the idea that I'm having is that if you created something for a JDBC connection, you could easily navigate around, make a quick GUI to show you like all the tables and all the indexes and stuff in your database.
I don't know how that would, having not thought much about how GraphQL and SQL hang together, maybe that would be an interesting option as well.
Oh.
You could put those two things together.
Interesting. But yeah.
I'm riffing, to be honest. I'm hand waving.
I mean, that's what we're all doing with it. I guess that's why it's alpha.
Right. I feel like people are just going to use it for interesting GUIs, so that they can get some insight into what's going on into their system. Right. Okay. The other thing that I think is really interesting that people need to know is that Java 8 is now the new minimum. So that could be a big change for you. You might not be able to jump to Clojure 1.10 if you're still on Java 7. which honestly you shouldn't be on Java 7 anymore, but a lot of people still are. So there are people out there. You should actually go to OpenJDK 11 like right now. But there's problems, right? Because there was a lot of backwards incompatibility in
I think
Java 8
still is defaulting to Java 8, isn't it?
Java 9 broke a lot of stuff. And so I understand why people don't want to switch. All the libraries I've used have fixes now, in Clojure at least. So I think it's okay, but it is still work to migrate.
Yeah, I'd still run into random projects here and there that don't work. And then I'm like, I got to go back to Java 8. And then I'll, forget about that a few months later, upgrade it, and then get bitten again, and then go back to Java 8. It's like, because do you really get anything from running 11 on your dev box? I mean, I've never seen anything.
Well, what you get is that you can run the same thing in production as you are in, but true. Other than that, I don't think so.
Why can't you run Java 8 in production?
Well, you could.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? I'm not trolling. I really don't know.
If you did want to ask, like, why would you run Java 11 production? Because it's faster, right? You can make things run faster. That would be my...
Because of the garbage collector, you mean?
Yeah, just the performance gains. That's the only reason I would feel like running 11 would be the performance gains. Yeah.
What I mean is, okay, so there's no
features, really.
Other kind of affordances that you get,
No, dude, I program in Clojure. I don't care about that other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
There probably is stuff in there, but...
Yeah.
Of course, there are people who would say if you programmed in Clojure, you don't really care about the performance gains that much.
Oh,
so.
That's true. No, I care even more because I need them. But that's a good point. You obviously don't care if you're using this language.
Or you're trying to, make up for this huge deficiency you've already got. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Well, I think before we get to the REPL, we should move on. Our other topic is, a 2018 retrospective and a 2019 prospective. So, any thoughts on 2018?
What about it?
From a Clojure perspective, I guess, would be, otherwise it was a shit show.
Otherwise?
All around. Oh, otherwise, yeah, well, I quite like 2018 from a Clojure perspective. I went to a few conferences and, 3 conferences in Europe. Wow. And we started this last year, so that was good. And I think it was last year we started this.
Yeah, in 2018, Apropos Cast was started, definitely a net positive for the Clojure universe.
That's right.
Yeah, and a few conferences, and of course, started working on a bit of this tooling for Apropos, which is quite nice. So for me, I think 2018 from a Clojure perspective was very interesting. I also, work full-time on Clojure now, and looks like it's a very exciting future for Clojure. In my life, anyway. What about you guys?
It feels like ClojureScript is getting to a point where it's maturing, maybe. There's not so many urgent things that need to be fixed in it, and the things that are being done in there are secondary, like performance things, and and there's always lots of stuff you could do and tooling surrounding that stuff, but there is something that feels different to me, and maybe that started to happen in 2018.
We've got someone in the comments. Was 2018 the year that NPM and CLJS met each other? Looks like that.
People doing that in 2017.
Yeah, I'm looking at the CLJS project on NPM right now, and it looks like it was in 2017.
I think it felt like maybe that was the technical spanner that turned a particular nut or whatever. But I think probably people felt it in the real world last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year was definitely the first full year of NPM at CLJS.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people migrating to Shadow CLJS. I think that was that existed before, but I think
They had a big uptake in 2018. Yeah.
People became aware of it. So 2019, anything to look forward to?
I just got woken up by 2 earthquakes in a row, so that was cool.
Is it the year of the big one?
I hope not. If we get a small one every night for like we've been getting, and that just keeps going for like a month, then their big one won't happen.
Oh, that's nice. A lot of small ones. That's what you want. So 2019, I'm looking forward to Heart of Clojure. I don't know if I'll be able to go. There's also Clojure North. So 2 conferences. Clojure North I'm excited about because we need more conferences in North America. Europe is beating us by quite a lot right now. Clojure North is in Toronto, by the way. And Heart of Clojure is in Belgium, and that's supposed to be a community-focused one. So,
you've already been to a conference this year, haven't you?
I was just in Clojure, the Indian conference.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a great crowd over there.
What kind of attendance was there?
Between 100 and 200 people.
Okay.
Where was it?
It was in Bangalore.
Bangalore, yeah. Not many people live there, is there?
Yeah, only 10 million or so. But Clojure is still small in India, despite the population of India. And also I found it's a very young crowd.
That's good, isn't it? I think
I felt old there. Yeah, it's good. It's good. There's what we were talking about it, like why are they so young? And one of the conclusions was that they don't have any like old Lisp heads, right? That we kind of have here. So there's no like older, people from before Clojure.
Well, but I think in Europe, when I go to conferences, it's mostly young people. I would say, I mean, there's an age range, but I would say there's still a preponderance of young people. Like
sure.
30 and, let's say 30 and below, which I consider to be young.
For sure.
Oh, young.
I feel that in the conferences I've been to too. But then there's always like 4 or 5 older people who you can they kind of stand out. Yeah.
Well, also I wonder if the employment market is maybe more conservative.
In terms of language choice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's less wiggle room to choose a language to work in and invest time in if you know that you're absolutely never going to get a job in it. Or
yes and no. I think
the people
I've met from there, they're also doing startups and they see the value of FP.
Startups are new there, though.
But they're new, right? So it sounds like maybe it's a young person's game.
Yeah.
And
I do have to give credit to BG. He basically started the whole Clojure community in India. He co-founded HelpShift, and now they're a huge employer of Clojure programmers. And fought for that when it was still a young company.
There's a co-op down there too, isn't there, that's using Clojure?
There's it's called Nilenso. They actually organized the conference. They're great. Awesome.
Very cool. I'm really interested in engineering co-ops and what can be done with that. I think it's really cool that they're working on that.
Employee owned. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Okay, well, that's 2019. Nothing else coming up down the pike.
That survey hasn't completed yet, right? There's that one.
No.
That's being,
Right. Everyone go fill it out if it's if you
Yeah.
can find it. Oh, well, let's put a link to that.
I want to know what we're going to be working on in ClojureScript next. Like,
You're going to talk at a conference, aren't you, Mike? You're going to.
Yeah, the Clojure North one. I'm going to speak there. Yeah.
Oh, nice. What are you going to talk about?
ClojureScript and the type inference system. Yeah,
Ooh.
that should be fun. I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
Have you been to Toronto before?
Yeah, only briefly. I think I spent a day there, or less than a day. It looks like a cool place.
Yeah, I heard it's a great city. I've always wanted to go. Well, we will watch your talk and have lots of thoughts.
I've been. I can confirm it's great. It's like a big Midwestern city.
Montreal's pretty cool as well. All the cities are nice up there.
Is there a link you want to put in, Mike, about the about your talk?
Oh yeah, I can add that to the show notes.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's practice this whole thing.
We're very excited about the show notes. Please look at
It was
them.
our best idea.
We had a very long meeting about how to do the show notes. We're very excited about them.
Technology
makes out that like, oh man, yeah, imagine that. No, but I think one of the things that we wanted to do as well was we wanted to think about what was good for the audience, and so we're going to try and be a bit more organized and a bit more structured. So it's past now, so
that's right.
We have to.
It's time to switch.
Stop the boring chat.
I know.
Wes wants to know if Clojure West is coming back. I believe that it is permanently over.
Well, every time someone asks in the Slack, I hear Alex say it's not permanent, but we don't have any plans yet. So
it's been put on the shelf.
Yeah, it's on the shelf. It's in a Ziploc. Keep it fresh. Right. And then I'm not doing a Clojure sync. I should mention that. Not this year, but it's not on the shelf. Ziploc. It's not in a Ziploc. It is in a post-dated envelope that will arrive in 2020. So there won't be one until 2020, I promise. But I'm already on it for next year. So there you go. And I would love feedback on that, by the way. I thought the conference went really well. And I think one of the reasons why it didn't happen this year is I wanted to outdo myself and change it up. But then after I canceled it, someone, a good friend of mine who attended, said, but it was so awesome just the way it was. Like, it didn't need to be any better. That I feel like, okay, if I just did the same thing again, it would still be awesome. So I'd love to hear what other people have to say about that.
I think it's very hard to do the same thing again. You're always going to learn something and improve things, I think. So
yeah, I wanted to do like a somewhat radical change.
All right. Okay.
And I don't know if now's the time to talk about it because it's REPL time and we're trying to be strict about that. All right. REPL time. Let's load up our REPLs. Get them REPLing. Hear it. So today, we are going to be implementing a small, easy to implement key value database that just works with in memory and we'll store it to a file using Eden. And so we're going to have to deal with all the issues of, concurrent access and reading and writing to the file system and stuff like that. Is everybody in the REPL? Do we have it loaded up on the video? Who's doing that?
Oh,
Can someone pin that?
I can cling. Yeah, sorry, that's me. I have pinned it now. At least it appears pinned to me.
We're still waiting.
15-second lag. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it is pinned. I see it.
Yeah.
Oh, I like. Whoa, you have icons for people now. That is cool. I feel like we're playing Monopoly.
Oh wait.
Next time I want to be the iron.
Yeah, you can't pick them, it looks like. So
they're random, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got confused because when I got in, I was like, oh, no one else is in here. I wonder what these icons are.
Birthday cake. I like the bathroom sign. Oh, Mia's the bathroom sign. Mike is the birthday cake.
Oh, on my screen, Ray is a bug.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Eric is a trash can. And Mike is a flame emoji.
It varies per user.
Okay.
I can go with flame. That's cool. Me as a yellow flower for me, and Ray's a running dude.
Ray is a paperclip on mine.
I see you're programming in a REPL. Would you like some help with that?
Go back to Microsoft. Go back to Redmond, wherever you came from. Be gone with you.
Okay. So who's gonna do this database?
So we need to make sure we don't overwrite the file in the middle of something, or let's see. Spinning an Eden file is pretty easy to do, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I see Ray has defined an atom. Maybe give it an argument of an empty
map. Yeah.
For those of you watching along on YouTube, the problem that we're working through is implement a key value database that stores to a file for durability. And you can find that in the gist linked in the video description.
So are we going to if we're going with an atom, that's kind of cool because then we can maybe watch the atom and
exactly.
Every swap you can spit it out.
That's what I do sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. Swap and spit.
Yeah.
That's worth trying. I haven't written an atom watcher in a while, so let's try that. I've forgotten the technique. What do you just give it a function that takes the
I think what you do is
the watch takes 4 arguments.
Oh yeah, the old and the new and the
and then a key so you know what's being called, and then I think it gets the whole atom too.
Okay.
But I don't remember the arguments, so we're gonna have to.
So
all right, let's try that.
We've got a little document helping thing here. Remember, we've got a code completer.
And does it give you add watch? Boom. Where's the arguments? Doesn't give you the arguments.
It does.
I don't see.
Well, I can see it on the screen. If you type add watch, it comes down below.
I don't have that. I have a blank thing that says it's docs, but there's something in it. Add watch.
Okay, well, on the REPL that everyone else is seeing, it does come up. And the documentation comes up on the console as well. So
cool. Yeah, add watch is not in my I hit hyphen and it disappears. That's the problem.
Right.
Just do add, it shows me this thing. Right. But if I do add hyphen, it disappears.
Goddamn bugs.
Okay, I see it now. Okay, yeah, it takes 3 arguments: the reference, a key, and the function.
So DB and then and I think the reference, the key is just any key you fancy.
Yeah, you can give it a name.
Doesn't mean the thing,
Yeah, so like you could call it saver.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, do we want it to save every time? Because that might
let's start there. Let's just start there.
We can start there. That's true. Yeah. And then the function it takes, see, that's what we have to look up. I think that's the one.
It's got 4 args, that one. In the docs on the right-hand side, it tells you. So it's like, says it must be 4 args, a key, the reference, its old state, its new state.
The key, the reference, the old state, the new state. Okay, so we can ignore
normally
the first.
Normally just underscore old new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something like this, and so we can do like print line old. Boom. That.
Boom.
Okay.
And so now if I take the DB and I do like reset DB to hello true.
Okay.
There, it printed that. Here? No, that's the return of reset.
Yeah, well,
does the print line?
No, that empty map was the old. Right?
Empty map was the old values.
Oh, I printed the old. Okay, yeah, there you go. So that worked. Yay.
Okay.
Awesome. So obviously we don't want that though.
We can spit.
You need a new quote after the hello.
I added it. Ray. Get on my side.
I don't see it on mine.
Okay, let me try completely.
Yeah, I don't see it in mine either.
There we go.
Work on it.
And then we should be able to slurp it.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, cool.
So so we're just gonna do the add watch. The spits.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's durable, right?
That's
To a
true.
certain extent. For some definition.
db save dot Eden. PRSTR new.
Sounds good.
I need. Oh, it automatically does that. Okay. Now somebody change it. Okay, so I'm gonna slurp. I should already have that, huh? Slurp testing.txt. Oh no, not testing.
Yeah, it's dbsave.eden.
dbsave.eden. There we go. There we go. And then we should be able to read it in. So we should be able to do clojure.eden.read string. Kind of probably not the right way to do it, but we'll just try it that way. There we go. Look, we read it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
why don't we make this a function?
Well, why do you, just out of interest, why do you print string on it? Why don't you just let it save the new version?
So if it's not it's okay if it's a map. I guess you could just stir it, right?
Yeah.
If you stir but if you stir a string, it doesn't put quotes around it.
Right. So it's simple for a simple person like me. I just always per stir, whatever.
Yeah.
It means it's supposed to be a readable print.
Yeah.
The close is supposed to be able to read it back in.
You could go and you could scrutinize which things print readably anyway and try to figure out when to avoid that. But it's easiest just to always do that.
I think for this is exactly what it's made for. To readably print it so that strings don't get turned into symbols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It expresses your intent.
The interesting thing about it is
it does the right thing.
That's the right thing. Yeah.
It's not just a self-documenting code. It actually works. All right. So defen, what is this called? readDB. Okay. So we got the readDB. And what? We have a restore DB.
Doing a full set of backup and restore tools here.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Reset DB. Read DB.
Yes.
Someone in the comments, Michelle Borka wants to know: is it me? How do you? I don't know how you say your name. Is the ad? Oh, I can't even do that.
Michael?
Is the AdWatch side effect thread safe though?
Oh.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
Is spit thread safe?
Well, so what if we had multiple spits going on? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if spit's thread safe, then it is. Because all it does is one spit. So
I don't think spit has like a global
lock or anything. Yeah.
So yeah,
no, it definitely doesn't. It's not locked, and
we could be like corrupting our database backup that we're making.
So that's a really good point. That's a really good point. What could we do about that? We could have a lock.
We could add locks.
Another thing is, I think it's not really wise to be writing every time we modify the database.
Yeah.
Because if we have like a ton of writes at one time, it's just going to write each one to the disk. Yeah.
And you're also overwriting your last thing that you wrote.
Yeah.
Probably want to write to somewhere else and then swap it in.
Oh, now that's a Unix hack right there. Yeah. So what I would do is have one thread that writes and reads, like not do it on each thread, but I would have
an agent maybe, or
no, I would have like the AdWatch would, or even something else like a thread just every second checking has anything changed since the last time and just derefs the atom.
How does that help you though?
Because it's one thread and it only writes once per second. That's how it helps. You could have it reactive where you say like, tell the thread I've changed it, and then it's gonna, it's gonna check, have I updated it less than a second ago? Otherwise, if I have, schedule another write, otherwise write it immediately.
So what you're thinking, have the watcher put something on a core async channel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or submit it to an agent or something like that. Anyway, those kind of things.
An agent.
Yeah.
You could have an agent. Yeah.
I've long forgotten about. They're dead to me. So
yeah, me too. It's hard to think.
It seems like async is a nice way of getting thread safe stuff without the complications of these transactions. Yeah.
I think just having a thread.
Yeah.
Just having a thread that it wakes up every second. It sleeps for 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, that's simple. We can all understand that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You don't need to get fancy with like queues and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do a thread. So thread dot. So let's give this a
that's your constructor.
def t. And so we'll do to that. We'll give it a function to run. So it's going to do thread sleep 1000. So this is going to be recursive. So I'm going to need to, I'm going to loop around here. Store some state. Loop old state. Why don't we read in the current version? DB. And then I don't know how to use this thing. Then after, oh God, I can't backspace. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's because of the power info thing.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm sleeping for a second. Then I'm going to read the new version. That new state is DB.
Okay.
If I just compare them equals.
Sure. Yeah.
If they're not equal, old state, new state, then we're going to spit save.eden prstr new state. And yeah, I don't know how to get back here. Oh no, I'm in the wrong. I don't know why I can't backspace. Ah, okay, there we go. I don't know what I did. Otherwise, we what? Ignore it? Yeah, we'll just ignore
it. Yeah, just do a win
and then this inside this due to need to dot start. Yeah. Good, everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to start it, right? So I got to do it right the first time.
Got one chance, yeah.
There's no way to kill it. We need a way to kill this.
Launch the nuke. Well, yeah. I'll go into Amazon and kill it.
How about we have something a little bit better than that, which is something up here, def die false. And I didn't recur either. I forgot about that. Okay, so
it goes
when
doesn't
not die. It's not gonna loop forever yet.
Yeah,
gotta do that right now. Okay, so when not die, it's gonna do that, and then I can't see. How do I scroll? Oh, I can't see the bottom. It's too much code.
Too much.
Too much code.
Maybe if I open my there we go.
Make your browser dollar, yeah.
And then you all can see what I'm doing, right? I'm not just talking about.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Where do I need to be? Right after this let. How do I do that? How do I do it? It won't move.
Typing each other.
Space or
recur with. I was hitting space and it wasn't doing anything. Maybe it's just lag. All right, recur with new state. There we go. Does that look right? I'm doing it.
Something that recur is not within the let.
Oh, the recur needs
something.
Yeah.
So all the things are lagging for me, so maybe I didn't see an update yet.
Yeah, mine is way behind.
Because I just see recur new.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I submitted it.
The server's running in London, so it's working fine for me.
Die is false. This thing should be running. So how do we test it? Test it.
Try and put something, then read from the file, and then read again later.
Okay, well, let's see what's in the file right now. readDB. No reader function for tag object.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Hmm.
That didn't work. Well, what's in DB? Hello, true X object.
Yeah, I made it hard for us by adding an object in the database.
Okay,
all right, let's get rid of that. Because now this thread might die because I had no try catch.
All right, okay. So I was going to say we could then look at how you get the reader tags, but okay. Yeah.
Okay, so now readDB. I bet it didn't work because it. Oh, it did.
Okay.
It did work.
Yeah, thread did not die.
Thread is still around. Yeah. Try adding something else. Swap something else in there.
Then immediately read it as well, because then it should, in theory, be the same.
Less than a second. That's cool. Oh, but we still have that watch on, y'all.
Oh wait, what is the watch doing? I forgot.
Watch is writing immediately, so we got.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the key? Can we remove it with that?
It was saver.
Saver.
So remove.
So can we remove watch? Yeah.
You can remove watch. Yeah.
DB saver. Was it?
No, it's namespace. So.
Double colon.
Yeah, it's double colon.
Remove watch DB saver. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got it.
Now assoc. And something else. Okay.
All right.
Okay, you inked twice. Ah, it worked.
There it is.
Yeah.
Inconsistent database. Great.
It's only inconsistent for 1 second.
I'm sure no one cares about that. No, it's really good. Yeah, I mean,
I guess if you read a DB and it's halfway written, like what if you swap a gigantic vector in there and then read it in the middle?
But this is the kind of thing which a lot of databases in the end do, isn't it? You know, they're trying to avoid this scenario.
Right. I mean, the thing
just the snapshotting, basically. You know.
Right. Yeah. And I think it works great for stuff that doesn't need to be consistent immediately. Like,
well, just as a little safeguard, I think, is quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and y'all, I've used this before. This idea of like having an atom that's like just a cache of what's on the disk, but it's much faster. I've used it before. So I didn't want to make a database request every HTTP request, like a database query or an insert. And so I would just insert stuff into the atom and then periodically sync that back to the database. And because it was just counters, like it didn't matter what order stuff happened in or how it was grouped. So I could just like add a number to the database, do an update.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I must admit, I'm thinking about making this REPL thing into a service. So I'd like to make some teams, and I could store it all in a database and stuff like that. But I think to get just going, I think using an atom and a file.
Oh yeah.
Probably for 6 months. You know, it's we can always go to a database later. Yeah. One of the things I was going to say was like, if you want to do that, do you put something in front of it in terms of like, this is a bit different because let's say you're just relying on a side effect to persist it. But would you normally like have some functions in front of the atom to set variables, or would you just directly access it?
At first, I would definitely just swap into it, and update. Yeah. But
that's the way you do a lot of even like code that you're writing at work, right? You typically start off with just an atom.
Yep.
And you're like, that's good enough for the next several weeks. It's not going into production yet, you know?
That's right. But then if it becomes something like the user database, I might start putting a formal interface in front of it, like add user, change password, whatever.
But it's great for prototyping stuff. This,
yeah. That's actually what my Clojure talk, my in Clojure talk was about. About how we probably go a little too far with just doing a soc and update, and not. It's just basically like getters and setters. Like we're programming with getters and setters if we don't ever
like write a function to do something.
Yeah, eventually like come up with an interface for the thing. Yeah.
But if you make things protocols, then you can swap out the atom for a database later, can't you? Or for whatever you want.
I'm skeptical of doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you should be.
I'm a little bit as well, so I'm interested in your viewpoint.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is basically that there's no point in writing extra code to maybe save code later. Because you don't know if it's ever going to happen, and then,
yeah, we've all been there. You've written so much code that's not been used in the end,
right? Like you made this protocol and a level of indirection when,
the project that you were on got canceled before it even,
or not even that. You just like, even if it does, like, just imagine both situations. If you do need a second thing, like you want to swap it out, like. Well, so you just go through all the places where you're accessing that atom and you change them. And then if you don't, then you've saved that bit of code. So
the other thing I like as well on that note actually is I like with readefs. Sometimes people put protocols in there for testing purposes,
right?
Which is fair enough. But I think with redefs is really underrated.
Yeah, like when you're testing, you do it with redefs and you change all the stuff you're going to test.
Yeah.
There's a very good blog post that I read that says why you should never use redefs with redefs for any reason, but I don't actually remember any of the things I read in the blog post. I just walked away from it feeling like I should never use it.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's fine. Yeah, it really is. Well, I've used it several times and it works great. Yeah.
We used to use it
where at a certain point it blows up. I don't know. I've heard things that people have problems where things don't get, where the thing you've redeffed doesn't become undeffed. I think so. Maybe there were some bugs in Clojure, but
we used to use it before we switched to generative testing. We used to use it a lot in our testing. Right. We use it a lot less now. But I have to find the.
It wasn't Stuart Sierra's Clojure Don'ts.
It wasn't. It was.
He tends to not spew bullshit like Gray asserts. Yeah.
What? What are you saying?
We'll find out who wrote this article, and then you'll.
I've got to find it now. I can't find it. I found
it. Well, but that's not the point, Mike. What are you saying? Fight.
I found one that a former coworker of mine wrote. You can tell there were a lot of with redef's thoughts.
Right. We need photos though, otherwise it didn't happen.
Well, I'm going to use with redefs next. Tomorrow I'm going to put that in the code base.
Good.
All right.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. I'm going to find a reason to use that thing.
Have a thread. Just
it's already in our code base, so don't worry about it. Yeah. I have it in our code base, so it's.
So is our thing thread safe now? Because we're only writing to it from one thread.
Yeah, I would think
so. Every second it has the potential to write something new, and if it takes longer than a second to write, it will block until it is done, and then go back and write.
Yeah, and the read could read in the middle.
Yeah.
It's not
put a gigantic vector in there. Yeah. Put a gigantic object that takes more than a second to, or takes a long time to write to disk.
Yeah. It's not safe across processes, but that would probably require like a file lock or something like that.
Yeah.
I think once you start going across processes or across VMs or across machines, things start to, you're going to start escalating pretty quickly there.
You're better off.
You should be using something else.
Yeah. For sure.
With redefs is the best database. I mean, you can do almost anything with it.
I feel like we just lost our 2019
Wikipedia reference spikes on the.
With redefs, you can do anything.
You can use that with redefs in production to store your data. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how MongoDB started.
So Moens has a comment that it would be interesting as a homework assignment to try to see how stable we can get this, or see how stable it is, and see if we can test it. So
you said homework assignment. Do you mean that's for an exercise?
For home play assignment is what he means.
All right.
But what my point is that we should be putting these into the gist comments, so you can make your own gist and link to it or something like that, just so everyone can see.
What I want to do actually, just as an FYI, I want to have a little button on this thing that will allow us to push it to a gist. So that's good. That's going to come one of these days. I know how to do it, but I haven't done it yet. I've done most of the work. I've done all the gist work. I just haven't integrated it yet. So that will come soon, and then we can link the gist that this produces to the gist in the show notes, which will be nice, won't it?
Yeah.
What we need is persistent data structures. And then we forget about ever saving things again.
Yeah. I think that's what Datomic is, but
persistent. Okay.
Well, we passed our time.
This is true.
Yeah.
We're
4 minutes out. Yeah.
I think we did pretty good for this new plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat on the back, everybody.
Yay, 2019.
We're
Yay, off to a good start.
Yeah, no, it's been really good. Thank you very much. And thanks for all the encouraging words from to the people who watch this. Actually, it's always nice to get some. I mean, you were saying, Mia, that when you went to the conj, that there was a lot of people giving you a lot of encouragement. So that's nice.
Yeah. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Yes, don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell so you can get a nice buzz in your, like, friendly buzz in your pocket whenever we start to go live.
Is that a friendly buzz in your pocket, or is Apropos Cast just happy to see you?
We are happy to see you always. That's always the right answer. Yes, but that buzz is from our hearts. So so do it. Click the little bell.
I don't want to be associated with this buzz. Okay?
Honestly, I don't know why anybody wants their pants to buzz every time someone goes on YouTube. But if you do, click the button.
We're not judging.
No, at least subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. That might be a more gentle way to find out. But less reliable, you might miss it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, thanks a lot, people.
Later.
See you around.
Bye.